Pastures. Raised in the motherland, chasing a better life. Oh.
Hello, family. Welcome back to Concrete Pastures. I'm Nancy Mulewasisi. As always, I am so excited. I am here to feed my soul. Okay, this woman today is going to feed our souls in it. Oh,
Wow.
so inspirational. I cannot wait for you guys to hear what she has to share. But for anybody who's new, this is a platform where we highlight immigrants who have relocated to different countries in search of greener pastures. We share our stories of our various experiences and lessons we have learned along the way and offer new perspectives on a journey of an immigrant. So whether you are currently an immigrant or soon or later to be an immigrant or just curious, come along with us on this journey and let's get a better understanding of what it really means to be an immigrant. Subscribe, like, and share. Oh, who am I talking about? I'm talking about Thami Nkadimeng. She's a moderator, programmer, director, communication strategist, TEDx speaker, which we're going to get into, top 100 most influential people of African descent, supported by United Nations Under 40. Welcome, sister. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. I'm really, really good. It's really, really great.
Oh my God. I am so happy. I'm so grateful that we are connecting. The first time I met you, my daughter is obsessed. Today she didn't want to go to school because of you. I'll send you a picture. So just to remind
Auntie
you.
Thami always says, go to school. You have to go to
I
school.
know. I said, I don't think she'll approve this. She literally told me last night. I'm like, remember the lady that you were hanging on and she had the thing at the South African event? She's like, yes, I want to say hi to her, so I shouldn't go to school. So I said, I don't think she'll approve that.
Please send her my love. Say, Auntie Thami said, big hug. Even on the, so when she watches this is not for you. This is for her.
Okay.
Big hug.
No problem. No problem. So I usually start from the beginning, but I want to start from where you are now. And my first question to you, you are known as the message architect. How did you become that?
I don't think you become stuff. I think you're born as stuff and then you just discover it as you go along. I'm a firm believer in God, and I don't think God just makes haphazard people. There's intention and there's purpose on why he creates all of us. We just have to go through life to unpack it and discover it. So I was always born the message architect. And I mean, if you even watch my TEDx talk or read my book, you'll see very quickly if you watch my TEDx talk and you read my book that I've always known from a very young age with my mom's underarm roll-on. I may have not titled it, but my subconscious and my very soul and my being knew that this is what I was created for. Yeah. So I've always been the message architect.
Oh my God. So when I met you, you hold everybody's attention. I got in that room and it was such an amazing community. Like you guys have a really good community, South Africans. And when we got in there, actually, my kids, you know, we saw you sitting and we were all looking, I'm like, who is she? We start to look you up and we're like, wow. And your smile lights up the whole room, first of all.
Oh, wow.
And then on top of that, it's just how you present yourself to the world, with how you captivate all of us. And what you say to us, is what draws us to you. So with that said, being the messenger architect, I already understood that. So I just wanted to okay, let her explain to all of us as to how she became that. So what inspires you to do what you do? And you're involved with presidents, leaders, and corporates worldwide to drive impactful conversations. What drove you to
I don't think I had a choice. I say this because I was already in executive level in corporate. I'd been working in corporate for 20 years when I then decided to go into this full time.
Lovely.
And nothing was fulfilling in
Mm.
corporate. No amount of money could have made me happy. No amount of, materialistic items could have made me happy. I had great leadership role and I had great influence in the communication space. And I had to then kind of sit down and battle on why was I created, and I so the sense of wanting fulfillment and wanting to feel like I am not just flesh and blood on this earth, but I'm making a difference, overtook that, and it keeps on overtaking that because it's not an easy time, especially with the things that are happening around the world, and it takes a lot. My work is very much soul work. So I give, what people don't understand is I think people, maybe let me not put it like, let me not say what people don't understand because I don't know all people in the world.
Yeah.
But I see what a lot of times happens on social media is people glamorize the work that we do as impact makers because they see us on stage with makeup and influential people. That's like 1% of the work. My actual work, and all they think, oh, we just sit there researching topics. My actual work is energy exchange. So when I'm on stage, I'm exchanging my energy and my gift with the world, and I'm exchanging it for yours. So it's really exhausting work. And if it's not your calling, if it's not what you're meant to be doing, if it doesn't give you a sense of fulfillment, you won't have a drive for it for very long because you'll be in it for the fame. And I always say I'm never chasing the fame. The fame will definitely find me. It's part of the package, but it's not what I'm chasing. So my drive comes in the fact that I know for sure, without a doubt, that this is my calling because of the sense of fulfillment it gives me, even when I'm the most exhausted by it. I wouldn't choose to do anything in the world by this. I used to say this to my mentees. I used to say, imagine if in the world we all had exactly the same cars, exactly the same clothes, and the work that you didn't pay a salary. So there was no such thing as money.
Yeah.
What would you choose to do? And I would be doing exactly this. And that's what drives me. It's just knowing in the core and the pit of my soul that no amount of tears, no amount of laughter, no amount of distractions, no amount of haters, no amount of will ever pull me for this. It's my drive. It's my calling is my drive.
Wow. This brings me to your TEDx. Watching your TEDx, you talk about a lot of your passion, talent,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
talent versus passion. And
Yeah. I actually make a joke of it. Yeah.
could you just explain to that? Because it's the first time I'm hearing it that way, positioned it in the way
Okay.
that you did position it. And usually people don't really separate the two. They usually
Yeah.
put together, you're talented, you're passionate, all of those together, but those are words thrown
Yeah.
on
Yeah. We live in a
yeah,
society of such jargon that makes no sense sometimes. Yeah.
yes. So could you just explain to us what are the differences in that? Because if someone is talented, that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that they're passionate about what they're doing.
No, not at all. And I'll explain it exactly how I did in my TEDx because it will be a tidbit for those who haven't watched my TEDx, and then hopefully they'll go and search and watch the entire thing.
Oh no, I
So
encourage
I
everybody
say,
to.
yeah, that'll be great. I'd really, really appreciate it because I don't think that I say these things or I give these talks or whatever as a sense of airy fairiness. It's really to share with everyone, and I think we're all spirits walking on earth, and we're meant to share our past experiences so that we can better each other. So in the TEDx, I explain how I discovered what purpose is, because people say, oh, you must follow your purpose. Like, how do I follow a purpose that I don't know, to discover it? What is it? Because I don't think you find purpose. I think you discover your purpose. You're born with
Yes,
that purpose.
I agree with that.
And so, yeah, so I believe that purpose is the intersection where passion and talent meet. So I give an example of the side of passion. Now, we all know, I'd love to assume that a lot of the world knows Nelson Mandela. Obviously, the first president, you know, when the freedom, when freedom came about, democracy rather, of the Republic of South Africa. We're actually celebrating 30 years of democracy this year, which is absolutely incredible. I love my country.
Yeah.
With its warts and all. It's beautiful. I love it. And he was a boxer, right? He was a very, sorry, let's go to the side of talent rather. He was a very talented boxer, but he quickly outgrew the passion for the boxing because politics took over, and that's actually the legacy that he left behind. A lot of people don't know that he was a boxer. So it then proves that you can have talent for something, but not necessarily the passion for it. Because he was an incredible boxer. You can Google it and check. He was a boxer, a really great one. There's actually, there's pictures of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you go to the other extreme, the passion part, where somebody really is passionate about something, but they have no title for it. So think of the music show Idols. I mean, we all know Idols. I'm sure you've heard of it, even if you haven't watched it.
Yeah.
And you have people who are so passionate about music and singing, but when they get there, they have no talent for the singing.
Yes.
And that's why there's wooden mic. So it then rings true that you can have a passion, but not a talent. And you can have a talent, but not a passion. And I believe that your purpose is really the intersection where you are passionate about something, so you're driven to do it regardless, but you also have a talent to do it. You shouldn't be wrecking your brain. And that's not to take away to say you shouldn't learn new things. Please, by all means, learn new things and you learn, try and upskill yourself. I'm talking about natural born talent.
Yes.
That talent that's just innate within you. And that's how I think purpose is. So people shouldn't wreck their brains, and it's not science. Like, it's not a difficult thing. Everybody should just go write a list of the things that you're really talented at, write a list of the things that you're really passionate about, and you'll quickly start to see the middle ground to go, sense of fulfillment.
I mean, I can relate to the sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
I fought to, I've said this time and again on this platform, I fought to become a podcaster. It was not something I had dreamed about. I mean, finance.
Wow.
That's the world that I live in. I'm good at what I do. I love what I do. I'm passionate. I love to develop people, to see them grow. It's the best thing. And as I've evolved, I didn't even know I was evolving at the time. And God asked me to do this.
Yeah, God bamboozled you completely. How does Yvonne Orji put it? She says, Jesus bamboozled me.
Yes, I was bamboozled.
Yes.
Whether I wanted it or not, I had to obey, because once he bamboozles you, and if you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it in your generation or whoever.
He'll put you in a naughty corner. He'll put you in a naughty corner and you'll be miserable until you actually do it. He goes, all right, now you're in the naughty corner. Let me tell you what I said you must do. Exactly.
Yes, and he did just that too, because I was in the middle of my healing journey, and I'm like, how am I supposed to inspire people when I need inspiration? And then I start to like, okay, we'll do this. I obey to some degree, not fully, to some degree. And I'm like, okay, we'll get started. And then I realized the end of the season of season 1, that's when everything clocked in as to the fulfillment of everybody that came on the platform, me sharing my story, my journey as an immigrant, and how everybody was feeding my soul. And instead of the other way, I'm like, wow. It was like the bulb just went on.
find your story so beautiful, and I wanted to jump in because I'm resonating so much. When I initially called myself the message architect, it was bestowed upon me. I think I'm going to put it that way. It was I'm going to listen to the voice of my inner voice, which I always think it's God speaking to us, and I'm going to call myself the message architect. I've been named the message architect for 2 years, and then one day on a global stage, only then did that title make sense to me. But I'd been calling myself it for 2 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I resonate with that. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
sounds
takes
about
a
right.
while sometimes. Like you walk in the walk for anybody who is being called to do something. Please listen. It will click
Yeah,
at some point.
yeah,
It
yeah,
will all make sense to you. It'll, oh my God. It took a while. And then when I told my last episode in season 1, I was like, okay, we got this. This is the journey. The level of fulfillment that I feel. It's my day off today. And I was even telling my sister, I'm like, I don't feel my day off, but I do what fulfills my soul. And it's so fulfilling. The conversations that you have day in, day out. I
yeah.
listen to episodes, watch these episodes more than the people that watch it afterwards, to just to see, learn, and all of that, continue learning,
That's
like what you
beautiful.
were saying, just to continue to what you are you shared with
That's
us.
beautiful. That's so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, you
You get
continue to
you
learn.
get like you're similar to me in that we get the cool stuff as a calling because it's not above level stuff. Is we get to see how individuals are intricately made, and we get the privilege into people's spaces. So when I get to moderate these conversations, I'm not necessarily meeting certain people, even a president at a presidential level. I'm meeting a human
Yes.
being that I'm going on stage with. And so it's the beauty, that the blessing that it comes with is I get to connect with people outside of their titles, which is such a blessing. And I think it's similar to what you're saying is
Yeah.
we get our paycheck and we get our souls fed all in one shot, which
Yeah.
is absolutely, I don't take that for granted, not
No. Yeah.
one bit. I've met some of the most incredible human beings. And when you even start to remove the title, you start to realize, yeah, we've got some really beautiful people walking this earth.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Because when you are going through life, and life will get to you, you
Mm.
don't see the beauty in people sometimes.
No.
And
Yeah, but that's pain, right?
yes, you don't see the beauty in people sometimes. And eventually, like as we do what we do, you and I and all other people, when you connect with people, you get to see, you attract the people that are supposed to be in your life, that are going to
Mm,
contribute to your journey that you're supposed to be
mm,
on. And they'll help
mm,
you. They'll help you get to where
mm.
you're supposed to be. I mean, I met you because of Busi. Busi, literally,
Yes, we met because of Pussy in New York. You're
yeah,
right.
yes,
Because she invited you to the event.
yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
And with Busi, it was literally a few hours before the event. Sis, I need you to come to this event. It will be great. You need to connect
No
with people. You
way.
gotta come to our community because of what's happening in South Africa. You are Zambian. Let's make sure that we are all together. I'm like, I'm in. It was
No
raining
ways.
that
I
day.
kid you.
It was raining that day. I was
It
like,
was
I am in.
pouring. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I kid you not. I love hearing that because nothing is coincidence. I was there moderating conversations for the
Yes.
United Nations General Assembly. And then my country said, oh, because you're in New York, can you then moderate this conversation for us? So it wasn't even a planned thing. I just happened
Oh
to
my God.
be in New York doing my own work. And then, and I was like, my country, of course, like
Yeah.
without a doubt. So I
Mhm.
love that. And now look at us having a conversation a few months later.
Yes. Yes, honey. Yes. Oh my God. I want to get in your story. From the beginning of this
Yes,
conversation, I said you
sure.
have a story that everybody, almost everybody around the world has that story, but sometimes they don't have the voice to speak. And I
Yeah.
believe you've given so many people a voice through your story, you sharing your TEDx. And I would encourage anybody who's listening to us, watching us, to watch the TEDx. Um, it's on YouTube. You could just look it up, look up her name, Thami Nkadimeng.
Yeah,
It's
very
there.
well.
I'll have the spelling of her name. Don't worry. I know we're being listened to and watched to everywhere. It's a lovely name. Thami is easy. But even when you go on her Instagram, you'll find the link there as well. But
Yeah,
for starters, you grew up in, I guess I would say, domestic violence type of home.
yeah, yeah,
So,
I did.
and just from listening to the TEDx and watching the TEDx, your imagination was your biggest escape. And I
My
think
best friend.
a lot of people um, can relate to that, including myself, not to the extent of domestic violence, but when growing up, I grew up very rural, and my
Yeah,
escape was my imagination, and I'll create my stories from my
yeah,
imagination. And for a lot of
yeah,
people who have gone through a hard time, I think it's almost like a common theme. Like you have to
yeah.
find an escape, and I think your imagination is a good one.
Yeah.
How did that save you?
Sure. I feel like we're going to be giving a lot of my TEDx away, so I'm going to try and remodel the stuff that I've
Yes.
said there. I grew up in a really beautiful home, and I know it kind of shocks people when I say that because I was in such horrific abuse around me. But I say that because I've done, I've done the hard journeying part of the healing. I don't think you ever are fully healed and you are, yeah, I'm completely fine. But
Mm.
I've done the hard part of it to be able to live and accept that that's what it was. And I say it's a beautiful home because I wouldn't have this life if I didn't grow around that specific home. And I kind of like my life, okay? I
Yes,
like
yes,
my life.
yes, yes,
So if I had grown around a different home, I'd be a different tummy, and I don't want to be a different tummy. I like this tummy.
yes.
So my home was also the same breath, very oxymoron. I had a very rowdy home, loud, incredible dad who was absolutely friendly. My personality is completely from my papa, and I love him to pieces. And he's passed on now, but I still love my papa to
Oh, I'm
pieces. He gave me
sorry.
some good sides to him, which I really am really grateful for.
Yeah.
A lot of those sides come out actually with my work on stage, so I'm very thankful for the gems he dropped within me.
Yeah.
But then he had another side to him. I almost believe, I really, really believe, I was saying to my husband the other day, I really believe my dad had bipolar, but because nobody had identified what it was back in the days, it went undetected.
Mm.
And then he became super, super abusive, and the abuse was gory. I won't go into the details. It was quite gory with my mom and myself. And it started to change who I was in the reality because I didn't want people to know what was going on at home. I think every kid wants a perfect circumstance to say, my home is the best home. And so, in order to start hiding the stories, I used to start imagining what kind of home I lived in. I think the problem with me is I took it a little far and it became what I would blurt out, and as if that was my reality, when in actual fact, I was living somewhat of a lie from my imagination.
Mm.
But I could always rely on that. I could always rely on my imagination telling me that I had a better life than I actually had in reality. And it saved me. It saved me from a lot of, I mean, I cannot claim to have ever lived, depressive or, going into psychiatric treatment. I almost became my own therapist, not in the most smart way, but I became my own therapist through my imagination. And my imagination was beautiful because it wasn't a lie. It helped me become what I was. So I used to take my mom's Under Armour on, and I used to pretend I was on global stages, introducing myself to big crowds. And I mean, Bob's your uncle. What do I do now? I'm on
Exactly.
global
I'm about to
stages,
say, we imagine who we become. The imagination comes so
and I'm using a real microphone,
yeah.
introducing who I am. And so uh, you know, it also teaches us, and I think society talks a lot about therapy, go to therapy. And there's nothing wrong with therapy, but I think we are made so smartly and intricately that sometimes your therapist is right between your ears.
Yes.
That's
Mm-hmm.
the best therapist sometimes.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. You know, you mentioned something that I realized when I came to the US. Um,
Yes.
back home, when I was living with my grandmother, there were a lot of people with different
Mm-hmm.
personalities. And
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people, and I don't think, maybe now in Zambia they do diagnose, but anybody who
Mm.
acts out of the I guess the community
The
norm,
norm.
the norms,
Yeah.
is considered mad, out of their mind or something. And at least here they can diagnose you as either bipolar or schizophrenic.
Yeah.
There's somebody literally that I had thought of when I first encountered someone with schizophrenic, and I was like, wow, this was my grandmother's brother. He would be fine at some points, and then at some parts he would be doing all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And you're talking about that, it's something that needs to be addressed, I think, in our African community, because some people
Yeah.
don't even do it on purpose, and it ends up damaging a lot of families because someone has, I guess, an imbalance in their brain, we would
Yeah.
say.
But the reverse also rings true. Is I think it's great for people to get diagnosed,
Yeah.
and we don't judge them and they get diagnosed. But the reverse for me is we are so self-centered in society that we go around calling people things like, oh, narcissist. That's
Mm-hmm.
a medical condition. You can't give titles like that to people according to your feelings.
Yeah.
I mean, we've made it so comfortable to go, oh, narcissistic behavior. Do you know what narcissist is? It's a mental condition.
Yeah.
We can't walk around self-ordained people just giving people illnesses and sicknesses because it's the cool thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important that both must ring true.
Yeah. No, I completely agree, because um witnessing um domestic violence, it changes a lot of people. Like for me,
Yeah,
honestly, I could relate to your story at some degree, because I did witness my father beat
yeah,
his my stepmom, and I
yeah,
stopped going to his house because I didn't want that.
yeah,
I didn't want to see it.
yeah,
The energy in the house was just something else.
yeah, yeah,
And I mean, he disciplined me, and I would go to my mom's house. There was no whipping. So, as a child, I gravitated towards my mom's side. But like you said, you wouldn't be who you are if you didn't go through what you went through. And I'm so grateful to how you've looked at everything so positive. And I think it's
yeah,
encouraging to others that have gone through a journey like yours to look at things differently, as to I'm who I am today because of what I went through, in a positive way.
absolutely,
A lot of bad
absolutely. But
things
there's also
happen. Mm,
mhm. But there's also a shift, right? So I do appreciate when you say it changes you. It does. There's certain things for me that will never be wired as innocently as when I was born.
mhm, mhm.
So, places with loud noises. I cannot watch fireworks displays
No.
as old as I am now because it reminds me of gunshot noises. So that's what people don't understand, some of the triggers that I mean, I don't cry and whatever, but it's a sound that just doesn't leave
True.
my mind, my heart, my spirit. If people are speaking super loudly and it feels like they're fighting, it makes me super uncomfortable. And so it does start to change. Even I think the chemical, I think it's chemicals. I mean, I haven't scientifically checked it out, but there's certain things that are, I just can never get back to my innocence. It's if someone's super close and lifts their hand haphazardly, it jolts
Startles you.
me.
Oh, wow.
It does, it jolts me. Um, it's even in my choice of men. I have been engaged 4 times,
Oh, wow.
and I'm married twice. And I'm married to my favorite husband now, and he's super awesome. He's
Yeah.
actually
Thank
the
God.
total opposite of all my exes. And that's because he came at a time where the healing had
I was about
started to
to ask.
happen quite
Yeah.
rapidly. And I was ready to be loved, because the other guys, they had their issues, but I also contributed in that I wanted them to replace my dad. And so I would attract the gap that I had with my dad, not only in the love and the positives, but also in the ugliness. I wanted them to be, I wanted people to fix, man, because I couldn't fix my dad. So I needed a guy to fix. And then along came my husband, and there was nothing about him to fix. In actual fact, my friends laughed because when he wanted to date me, like for serious wanted to date me this time around, I said, I can't. I don't know what I'd fix about him. Like, he's a normal human being. What would I do with him? You
Yeah.
know? And so there is it does change you. Physical abuse in total does change you. So
Yeah.
I don't want to sit here and disrespect people who've gone through abuse to say, yeah, it's guns and roses, ha, airy fairy, ha, we have a positive light, look at the positiveness. It's about creating the positiveness despite the mental shifts that we've had to face.
1,000%. Um, what advice would you give anyone who's going through your journey now and has gone through your journey? What advice would you give them?
Um, I'm not sure how to answer that, because I don't think anybody will ever go through my journey. I think my journey
Similar,
is my own. I think
similar.
everybody goes
Yes.
through their own
Yeah,
journeys,
no,
right?
similar. I meant similar. Like someone who's had
Okay.
the same kind of similar situations like you've had.
Experiences
Experience.
as in abuse.
Yes.
You've got to go through the pain. Unfortunately, that's the sad part of the story, is you can't fast forward the pain. And I think the saddest part is that sometimes the people who most times the people who instill the pain on us leave us with the hard work to do to find ourselves again. So you've got to go through the pain. That's the first thing. Is I think a lot of people think, oh, you can go to therapy and you can get over it, or blah, blah, blah. It'll always resurface if you haven't worked it out. So you've got to work through it. And my biggest advice is there's always a light at the end of a tunnel. You've just got to want to find it. You have to want to find the light. If you don't want to find the light, you will never see the light. And it's as simple as that. It's like going through a tunnel and parking your car in the tunnel. You're never going to see the light if you, oh, wow, that's my life. This is what I'm stuck with now. You have to want to find the light. You have to want to find the light to see the light.
Thank you for that. Well said. Well said. For anybody who is listening again, please watch the TEDx. It explains more details. We are literally just touching the surface of what she shared. the opposite side of what she said, actually, because we don't want to give it away. Please watch the TEDx. It's
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. I encourage you. And you can also find it on her social media, Instagram. It's also Facebook, right?
Yeah. So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok is like the crazy, crazy side of me. So nothing serious there.
I know you love dancing.
I do.
I see that you love dancing. So I'm like, oh, the TikToks.
I do. I
It's work
do.
though.
I'm such a creative at heart. Yeah, so dancing and me are really good
Oh,
friends.
great, great, great. So going back to what you do now, um,
Yeah.
I want to touch on what are some of the challenges that you face in your work and how do you overcome those challenges? Because sometimes, when people look at what anybody does, you make it look so easy. As much as you love what you do, you're passionate about it, it's your calling. And what are some of the challenges that you face and how do you overcome it?
So before we get to challenges, I just want to let you know that my work is very, very easy for me because it's my calling. So there's no hard work in what I do. So it probably looks easy because it is. My
Mhm.
work requires effort, but it never requires hard work from me. You could wake me up at any time of the night and say, go on stage and create a conversation or speak about impact, and I'll do it. I'm never dragging my feet when it comes to my work. And so it's not hard work, it's just effort. There's effort into what I put into it. So it probably looks that way because it is that way for me.
Nice.
Um, I face a number of challenges. I'm around a lot of global leaders. And one of the challenges that I feel for them is the need to protect a lot of the global leaders. Because sometimes, and I know people say, oh, but if you assume leadership role, you should have accountability.
Mhm.
But a lot of the times, these are just human beings. They're parents, they're somebody's spouse,
Yep.
and they just happen to have that role that they have to do. And so the challenge for me is finding the balance in protecting their humanity versus holding them accountable for the role that they're in all in one breath as a moderator who encounters them.
Oh, yes.
Because behind the stage, I get to see the human. And then on
Yeah.
stage, I'm interviewing the title.
Oh my
And it's
God.
hard because some of them are getting phone calls from their wives and their husbands and their kids backstage. So it's quite a challenge to reach that balancing act.
Yeah.
I think another challenge I have is people seeing your calling and wanting to be exactly the same as you.
Yep.
And when you say to them, I can't make you me, they
Yep.
take that quite offensively. And my intention is never to be offensive. It's I really don't. Some of the stuff that I do, I don't even know how I do it. It just happens. And so people expect you to be able to tell them how to speak on stage, how they hold their papers, how they must dress, how they must walk, how they must talk. But and my intention is never to be offensive. It's I really don't. Some of the stuff that I do, I don't even know how I do it. It just happens. And so people expect you to be able to tell them how to speak on stage, how they hold their papers, how they must dress, how they must walk, how they must talk. But I can't give you a toolbox if I don't have a toolbox. It's just who I am. And the problem I have with that is that society forces people to give them a toolbox to a point where toolboxes have become money-making schemes. So somebody will make up a toolbox that doesn't
Yeah.
even work to sell it to society because you force them to come with a toolbox. I mean, I'm sorry, I gotta call this out because
No,
it's
please do.
January.
Please do.
The number of vision boarding initiatives that are out there, and everybody has a different toolbox in how to vision board. And I'm like, it becomes inauthentic. And this is why for me, mentoring is also a very challenging concept for me, in the way society has put it. So mentoring in itself is you find two people that must advise you on how to live your life. But what about the other billions of people you encounter? The cashier at the till, the petrol attendant, I feel like everybody has something to teach you, but you've blocked yourself off to those two people who need to direct you, that you're not learning the lessons from every beautiful human being you have the potential to encounter. And so I'm also very big on, I don't want formalized mentoring for me in my space. If you want me to mentor you, let it be so authentic as looking at the work that I do, observing, and I'm very open about my mistakes. I think you picked that up on my Thoughtful Tuesdays and the other platforms.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, just learn it authentically. Because the minute I say I'm your mentor and you're my mentee, I've already put hierarchy to it. Like employer, employee. It means I am better than you. There's a hierarchy to the title. And then it means that every time you ask me for something, I have to have the answer. But I don't answer, just living life.
I told you guys, she come with wisdom over here. Oh, wow. Some of the things you just mentioned, I mean, you're giving so much insight. For anybody who doesn't know Thami, she does Thoughtful Tuesdays. Join those.
I do.
Oh my God. The nuggets that she throws in there, they're very thought-provoking. I told her at the beginning of this conversation.
Thank you.
And inspirational. And you look at things differently than that. I agree with you with a lot of people. They force you to be in a certain box and for you to create. Like when I first started the podcast, honestly speaking, people are asking me what type of business is it. I don't get paid to do this. I don't get paid to do it. I have a normal job. I record at all kinds of hours, 6 in the morning before I go to work. Sometimes I wake up for a meeting at 3 in the morning because depending on who I'm having a meeting with, maybe they are in Sydney, Australia.
And the time zone.
Yes, this is the time they can meet. I wake up at that time. But in terms of like what type of business, I had to look back as to what I could do for the community. I'm like, this is what I can do for the community. We inspire each other through our stories. There's so much perspective out there as to what an immigrant should look like. And going back to what you do, and people want to be you. There's a lot of copying and pasting. But it's someone else's journey. And I was talking to one sister, she's in Nigeria. I was talking to her, and she was asking me like if I have challenges finding people on this platform. I'm like, because it's not my platform, I don't call it my platform. This is for God created this. And when I was worrying about who's going to come and have conversation with me, he brought each and every person on him.
He bamboozled.
Yes. I'm like, he brought each and every person. Some people don't even understand how they say yes to coming on. So I'm like, you come on. So copying, I think it needs to stop with copying what other people are doing, because you don't know who is praying for Thami to do what she does every single day, who is covering her, and people just want to copy. And it's common. It's just like I see it on social media, I see it. Dress how she dresses, but her brain belongs to her. The creativity belongs to her inside her, because no one knows what you are thinking until you release it.
So there's two things that you touched on, and I want to give you this quote that I saw the other day. It says, copy me all you want and fight me all you want, but you're disregarding the favor upon my life. Like, you can't copy my favor, right? And my favor is unfair, right? So you go ahead and you do whatever. But I think we're also in a society of, oh, know me, please know me, know me. We're fame hungry. Society is very fame hungry. And so what you'll end up having, and I'll speak about the space that I'm in, is people will start in the industry saying, I make impact. I'm here for impact. And then it slowly stops being about impact. It starts being about what house I got from this impact, what cars I got from this impact, how many followers I've got from this impact. And I watch certain journeys. I'm like, you started off so good with great intention, but the evil starts to catch up with people. And once you're on the road of, it's actually about my brand, this brand conversation needs to be had versus the impact, that's where you start to have a lot of hungriness in, oh, I must copy so and so because when she does it like this, she attracts this. And that's what I want to attract. And blah, blah, blah. Let's just go back to basics. You said you wanted to make an impact with what you said was your calling. And we can never question people's calling because calling is never a conference call. So if you tell us it's your calling, we believe you that that's your calling. Let's go back to that basic. That's it. That's it.
No, it's not a conference call. I love it. Don't copy and paste, people. Do not copy and paste. It's
You'll be
dangerous
found
zone.
wanting. Yeah, it's so dangerous.
No, this is why people, like, you fail miserably and you wonder why you failed miserably. Because it was not for you. It was for someone else. Find out what your calling is. It might be similar, tweaked in a different way.
We are seeing things out there, my sister.
They're tweaked in
You
a
start to see even society morph in how they dress, how they do their hair. I used to laugh when I started Thoughtful Tuesday. So Thoughtful Tuesday is it's another bamboozlement for me. It was never a strategic thing. It was one day God said, oh, you're going to do this thing. I didn't even know what it was called at the time I started it. It was just like haphazard videos. And then I was like, oh, it has to happen every Tuesday because social media says algorithms, blah, 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 blah. And for those who don't know my Thoughtful Tuesday, it's literally what I'm going through or what I'm working out, or I observe something and then I'm like, oh, look at it and think of it, rather this way. Maybe I can give an example of one of my favorite Thoughtful Tuesdays, and then I'll go back to the point that I wanted to make. So I was saying one of my Thoughtful Tuesdays is gaslighting. So there's a word called gaslighting. And I say to people, gas in itself is just it's a useless
smell
thing. It's just gas. You don't even see it. It's invisible. But they put some sort of chemical in it so it smells like rotten eggs. So that you can detect it when it's leaking. And so that's what we smell, is that chemical in the actual gas. But if you put on gas, it doesn't do what it's meant to do unless you ignite it with fire, the light, right? You have to ignite it for it to actually serve its purpose. And so I say to people, now I get it, gaslight. Do not ever give the light and the fire in your belly for what you're born for, because then the people who are trying to copy you just become not useful, or they smell like rotten egg, like the gas. They need your light in order to gaslight you. So I start to look at things very differently in that sense. But just even going back to the point I was making about I think I was making the point about the copying the people. Be very careful, because you can win and think, oh, I got away with it, I got away with it, I got away with it. And I start to realize that people aren't stupid. People know who's copying who. They can actually see it. And when it all falls apart, it will be super, super painful. And sometimes I also think we need to be careful as well. And this is a lesson I'm learning as well with copying, is I don't own any idea. The idea belongs to God. And so by virtue that I don't own the idea, it's okay for somebody else to trial and error it. So copying is never about the ideas. it's about copying the persona of somebody else. Because what you're saying is you don't care to live your life as you. You want to be somebody else.
Oh,
That's a problem.
yeah, guys. I told you she's gonna come and drop some bombs, some nuggets. You know, she's dropping.
Yeah. It's scary. It's absolutely scary, the stuff that we copy, even in society. Like, who told us we have to have makeup on when we go online? Like, who told us that?
I know.
Why? Why?
I
I
know.
remember being lambasted on Thoughtful Tuesday. You can't Tuesday without makeup. I'm like, that's me. That's how I am on earth.
Oh my God. No, I know. I know. I wake up, I'm like, we have a Zoom? Okay. Full face.
And you know that's copying, right? It's
Yeah.
copying how somebody started to do it to a point that we're shocked when somebody does it the natural way.
Yeah. For me, I actually give a lot of credit because I've seen a lot of your videos with no makeup, and I
I have
give
no makeup now. You can wipe my face
no.
completely. I have
I say that.
absolutely no makeup.
That's the thing. I give a lot of credit to anybody who shows up on any platform with no makeup because we've gotten so used because I wear makeup every single day at work. So it's become
Yeah.
like part of me. I dress up. I love to dress
Yeah.
up. So it's part of like, I don't know, you'd call it a uniform, I guess, in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So anywhere where I have to do like an appearance, we're all copying as to this is what it's supposed to look like. And then when we see other people, I think we have to give each other grace as to however someone shows up, let's show them grace. It's how they chose to show up.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I was about to say to you, there's nothing wrong with you putting a full face of makeup if that has become your uniform. The
Yeah.
issue is if you put it on as a mask and a masquerade to say
Mhm.
people will like me more if I have makeup. That's why the whole notion of even influencers has gone warped,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What is an influencer? You know, presidents are influencers,
Mhm.
ministers are influencers, kings and queens are influencers. But we've now packaged influencers to a person with slick hair, full of makeup, and da, da, da. Really?
Yep.
Have we watered influence to that?
Yeah. No, that's why I love what you give on your platforms. I think that needs to
Thank you.
continue. We need more of you uh, to continue to encourage us because there's so much output out there that I want my kids to gravitate towards positivity and something that's going to
That's
encourage
it.
them, something that's going to make them think instead of the million things that they watch. I'm ashamed as a parent. The million things that they watch. But listen, I can talk to you forever because there's so much that you've done. And I think you are one of the great pillars that represents us in a good light. And it's great to see that.
Wow.
Yes, no, it's
Thank
true.
you.
It's
Wow.
truly great to see that. And when you see someone who's a visionary and you see that they are living in their purpose and walking in their purpose and representing themselves in a good light, it's very rare because you can be overshadowed by what comes with that
Yeah.
a lot of the
Yeah.
time. So having that humility and being staying humble,
Thank you.
it's what gravitated me towards you because before I even talk to anyone, I'll be on your space so much, watching and studying and going through everything because
Thank you.
everything
Sure.
has to align with what I'm trying to do. And when I figured out also that you God fearing, I'm like, this is why I'm gravitated because you couldn't leave my mind. A lot of the times,
Um,
anybody that's meant to be on this platform, they'll be on my mind for a long time. And then
yeah.
continue to reach out. And then, even though I want to give up, there'll be that nudge. You need to reach out because I know that there's someone out there that needs the message that needs the encouragement,
Yeah.
that needs what you have to give out.
Yeah.
But before I let you go, I know you've had a busy day. What's coming up? What's new? Is there anything that you need support from us? I know your book is coming out. What's the title?
Yeah, it's actually I was so quirky. I'm so naughty, but I push boundaries like that. I think I'm known for pushing boundaries. So I called my book Finding Purpose because I don't believe in the term finding purpose. And then I take you on a journey of how I don't believe that you can find the purpose that you're born with it. So it's called Finding Purpose, Lessons from the Message Architect. It's available, sure, at so many bookstores, but it's also available on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles for those who are not in South Africa. And then whoever's got exclusive book, bargain books, the big bookstores, it's available. Take a Lot will also be partnering with us to get it around to people. So that's what's that's the very immediate project that's coming out. I actually touched my book for the first time. I was so tempted. I forgot that this is going live. I almost pulled it out to you now because it's right next to me. I touched it for the first time on Monday. Then I also just want to thank you. Thank you for never giving up and reaching out to me. It really is it's a beautiful thing to speak to you. I'm very big on I'm transparent, but I'm not open. And I actually explained that on one of my Thoughtful Tuesdays. It's like, a sliding door with glass that's transparent. You can see what's happening the other side, but you can't feel it.
Yeah.
And I'm very particular about being open, because open means you open the sliding doors and both environments then collide.
Yeah.
And so I'm very careful about who I'm open with, but I'm transparent with the world. But I think the message architecture journey and the Thami Nkadimeng journey is going to be full of weirdness. I don't care to conform to society, and I'm okay if they title me weird. I'm not walking on this earth to appease anybody. I want to get to heaven one day and say, I came empty. I did everything you asked me to do there, regardless of how they named me. So I don't want to also say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just gonna flow in the stream that God wants me to flow in, man. Just make magic.
I love it. I love it. I love that you are so bold. It's again, it's rare, I think, for a lot of us. It takes a lot of courage, strength to actually be in that space.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done, but you are actually doing it.
Yeah, with a lot of tears backing it up. Don't worry. When society rejects me, I'm crying my little heart out, and I'm still carrying on.
Yeah. Those comments on social media, it's just crazy. I'm like,
Oh, you
how?
should see my DMs. Oh, you should see my DMs.
Sometimes I block just the comments. I'm like, let's stay away from comments because I heard yours. It's like anybody. Wait, what? I wrote it down last night. I wrote it down. You talked about don't care about the opinion, the opinions of people who never be there at the opening of
At your curtain call.
at the curtain call. I was like, this is so. I'm like, this says it all. It says it all.
This is my theater. This is my theater.
Yeah, it says it all.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this says it
Yeah.
all, and
Yeah.
you testament to that. I'm like,
Yeah.
but it's hard. It's hard. Could you leave
Yeah, it's
us
tough.
with
But don't you think that anything that has no substance is generally not tough in this world? So don't worry. The tougher it is for you, it means you're doing the actual right thing. It's so much easier to go downstream on a waterfall than to go upstream. But the truth is, the best view is never at the bottom of the waterfall. It's at the top. So don't worry. The tougher it is, the better it is.
Oh my God. Yeah, those nights. Sometimes I'm like, okay, God, you created this. Can you come in, intervene?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. I've been asking for this cough to go away. It's like, you still need to do interview. I'm like, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
We're doing
Yeah.
it.
So, I mean, sometimes my prayer is as simple as, God, do you see your children here on earth? Do you see? and then I cry and go to bed.
Oh my God. Excuse me. Oh my God. Could you leave us with one of your Thoughtful Tuesdays, please?
Okay, so by the time this one is,
Mhm.
I would have probably released this one already, and it's one I'm actually working through in my head. So
Oops.
I'll give it to you because it'll be because you'll probably release this on the 9th of February, and I'm doing
On
my
the
first one
9th.
on the 6th.
Yep.
And I'm doing mine on the 6th. So I'll give you one of my thoughts that I'm trying to package
Yes, that's a
to say
Friday.
to everybody when I'm working it through. Yeah, that's a Friday, but Thoughtful Tuesday goes on a Tuesday, so it would be out that week. So enjoy if you haven't seen it on my social media page yet. I'm toying around with the idea of how negative and positive need to work together. That's why a battery has a negative and a positive side. There's no such thing as a battery with positive and positive or negative and negative. So when you start saying your goal or your prayers or whatever it is that you do is, for instance, give me more money, be open to the fact that more people are going to come and ask you for help. When you start asking for goals or dreams to say, I want to be influential, be open to people copying you, because there's no such thing as positive and positive. You've got to be open to the negatives that come with it in order for you to be a battery to ignite and get things going.
Okay. I have no words. Wow. Okay, on that note, sis, I'm so grateful. This is
I'm going to
been
record the Thoughtful Tuesday right now when I get off with you
this
while
has
I still
been
have, because I've been
food to
toying
my
with it for a few
soul.
days. I'm like,
Okay.
oh my gosh.
This has been food to my soul. I'm so grateful to you for making time for us.
Thank
It's
you.
such an honor to
Thank you
have you
so
on.
much.
And
Thank you.
just send us a copy of the book, the picture. This way
Sure.
we can advertise it once the episode comes out. I'll have the marketing team
Thank you.
align it.
Will
And
you keep me honorable and accountable, because you're really good at doing that, and then I'll send it to you.
I will. Don't worry. I got you.
I love you
got
for that. You're really good at that. You keep me accountable. Thank you.
No, listen, I'll make sure that we have the book, and I'll pre-order it on Amazon myself. This way, is it on audio? I love audios. Did you do audio?
Not yet. We might turn it into audio, but there's a lot of work that goes into creating a book on audio. It's quite a lot of work. Yeah.
I'll pre-order it for the hard copy.
Thank you.
And me and my daughter will read together.
Yay, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for bringing me on your beautiful platform. Yeah, it's the best way to end a day. So thank you.
Yes.